Okay, so let's go to the Smart Production Unwrap, SPU. So you have different solutions when you are unwrapping things. For instance, I will show over here a selection of polygons like those that we will unwrap. And as you can see, this element can be unwrapped and rectangle probably to get straight line and a good layout on the UV view. So you can do this by selecting the polygons and go to the Smart Production Unwrap. And then you can do a single group normal conformal, for instance, unwrap, and things will be employed like this. Sometimes it can fail on, I can say, orient the different UV islands. So for instance here, if I do this and use Q Smart Production Unwrap and do the same stuff, I will get this element. So it's perfectly done, and we have a relax that have been added automatically. But as you can see, this element is, even if that's using the squared bounding box of it, it's still flipped and not correctly oriented. So you can use a little trick with the Smart Orient function. So here we can select, for instance, this UV island, and over the 3D view we can use the Smart Orient vertically or horizontally. So if I do this on this kind of shape, Modo didn't find the correct rotation, and in the algorithm it didn't look at the shape correctly. So it might be better to use the edge mode, and by selecting this edge, press the Q and orient it horizontally or vertically. So it's a Smart Orient tool that functions in both edges and polygon mode, so it's really handy to lay out your elements. So we've done this here, and just to show you, if you select this area, for instance, and do a select similar by 2 degrees, we will get these elements, and I will show you that actually there is an auto relax enable. I will disable this, and I will make the unwrap group normal, conformal group normal, and we will get something that is totally distorted, as you can see. So to remedy to this problem, I really suggest you to get the auto relax enable. It's working on 13 release, 13.1, 13.2, and also 14 release, because that's integrated into the Unwrap tool. But that was completely scripted, so it's part of my own tools and tool sets, so there's no limitation. So I press Q and do the same kind of stuff with the group normal, and now you see that it's much more straight, right? So I can do again a Smart Orient vertically, for instance, and now we have things correctly positioned, right? So you have this solution of the unwrap like this, but you can also do things like this. So here we have a loop. We can probably use a planar projection for this one, but I will show you also that probably a better solution if you are baking things is not probably to do a planar with the selection on the Z and get just this, but probably do a different way where you have this loop completely rectangularized on the UV view. So here we have a planar projection, but we will do a different one. So I'd select just 2 polygons. I will probably erase the UVs on those polygons to show you this better. Okay, so we select 2 polygons here, and we will use the Q, unwrap, and here you have a rectangle mode for the unwrap. So if you press this, you have a solution with rectangle on the selection and also an auto loop on the with the rectangle. So in our case, we have just 2 polygons, so we will use the auto loop and rectangle. So as we do this, what is great is now that you have something that is always straight on one of those axes, the U or the V, and it's perfect and completely round this way. It's a different projection, but sometimes it can be better for having baking of bevel on the high polygon and get those always line through these UVs. So it's also a solution. So I think that's okay. I have to show you. So you have also the solution here to do this in a different way. So for instance, I will select maybe those polygons here, and if I want to deploy those elements, I will use a different way, that is rectangle vertical or rectangle horizontal. So actually we have just quads, right? So it will work. I will do this along all the side here. Okay, and I will press Q, Smart Projection Unwrap, and we'll do a rectangle horizontal. So now you see that here we have the Smart Projection Unwrap horizontal, and all the different items will be unwrapped this way and regroup in the same area. So I will do this, selecting all those elements, maybe those also again, here and here. Okay, so we have multiple selection over here. I will select the opposite and clean the selection, I mean the UVs on the opposite, and we will go again to the invert. So I will do now a Q, and not the horizontal but the vertical, so everything will be packed into this area with vertical strips. Okay, so I press Q, unwrap, I will go to the rectangle vertical, and now we have all those correctly always vertical strips, and here we have horizontal strips, rectangle. So this is it for the unwrap functions. I hope you enjoy those tools.